When we think about the visual history of Blackness in America, when we think about and look at photographs of Black life, especially in the 20th century, the prevailing images are those of the Civil Rights era, of Jim Crow, and images that primarily showcase struggle and strife and political upheaval, the momentous emotional journey that so many Black people have gone through in this country. I think those images are really important to history, but with Always Been and with the project, I want people when they see these images to really recognize the ways in which history has given us one particular view of Black life in America. These images really show us how Black people are imagining themselves throughout segregation, throughout Jim Crow America, and how they're still experiencing all of the dignities and the humanities and joy of life that exists in everyday Blackness that are really being cast away in the predominant visual history. My name is Parker Thompson. I'm a senior history major at Brandeis. I've been studying history almost all my time here, and I'm really fortunate that through my connections at the university, I have an exhibition here today at the Griffin Museum in Winchester, Massachusetts. I started collecting photographs, just generally speaking, all throughout high school. I really was a photographer more than anything. My mother and I would go on these photo road trips, and along the way, I would pick up these snapshots at junk shops and antique stores that are really prevalent around where we live in South Carolina. And I'm mixed, I'm biracial, I'm Black, my dad's Black and my mom's white. And so that has kind of been this contingent push and pull in my life, trying to understand and navigate that dynamic, especially as someone who I would consider white passing. One day, I was looking through my photographic collection and I realized that they were almost entirely of white people. I realized that I had never even come across photographs of people of color, and so I started to just kind of explicitly seek it out. I was spending kind of 6, 7, 8 hours a day on eBay, where there's a marketplace of over 1 million snapshots kind of like these. And I began to explicitly seek out African American photographs of everyday life. And I realized that I'd never seen images like these before. Not only were they absent in my own family albums and in my own life, but I hadn't seen them in popular culture. I hadn't seen them represented in museum environments. And so I really took it upon myself to start assembling this work, start giving it a home, and start to try to understand the power of this visual medium. I want people when they see these images to really recognize the ways in which history has given us one particular view of Black life in America and of American Blackness. That it is not just political strife, that it is a very vibrant and dynamic life that has existed here since the very beginning. It's the ways we've always been. That's where the title comes from. And so I'm just hoping that people begin to rethink their conceptions of American Blackness, especially in the photographic record. We're celebrating the subjects of the photographs, but we don't know the subjects really. We know a fraction of a second of them captured on these pieces of paper. But we are celebrating their wherewithal to pick up a camera and document their existence and to make it known and to put it into the record. These photographs are a lot more deeper than that, and they inform and tell us everything that we need to know about how we think about ourselves, how we see the people in our lives. And really, these photographs are a celebration of the act of photographing, of the act of documenting your life without necessarily a purpose in mind, and letting those photographs exist and hope that one day they'll be picked up again and somebody will be able to take something from them.